What would you do if your plane was going down? A question none of us wish to face, yet one that highlights the importance of being prepared for extreme situations. This video isn't meant to scare you, but rather to arm you with vital knowledge that could potentially save your life in the unlikely event of a plane crash. We'll delve into strategic seat selection before the flight, the correct body positioning during a crash, and what to do post-impact. We'll also explore the essentials of a survival kit and how to communicate for rescue. Our aim is to provide you with information that could significantly increase your chances of survival if the unthinkable were to happen. Remember, the key to survival often lies not in the strength of one's muscles, but in the resilience of one's mind and the readiness of one's knowledge. Preparation can make a difference in surviving the unthinkable. Your survival strategy begins before you even board the plane. The first step to surviving an unimaginable event like an airplane crash is making strategic seating choices. Contrary to popular belief, all seats are not created equal when it comes to increasing your chances of survival. Seats located towards the back of the plane statistically have a higher survival rate. Moreover, aisle seats provide quicker access to exits, potentially giving you precious extra seconds in an emergency evacuation. However, it's not just about where you sit, but how quickly you can get out of your seat. Seats within 5 rows of an exit are optimal, as studies suggest that passengers seated within this distance have better odds of escaping swiftly. Now let's talk about safety procedures. You've heard the pre-flight safety demonstrations countless times, and you might be tempted to tune them out. But these few minutes could be the most important part of your flight. Every aircraft is different, and so are their safety procedures. Pay close attention to the cabin crew as they explain how to fasten your seatbelt, where the emergency exits are located, and how to use the life vests and oxygen masks. Remember, in the event of an emergency, you could be dealing with smoke, darkness, or even an inverted cabin, so familiarize yourself with the braille-like texture on the aisle seats that can guide you to the exits even when visibility is low. It's also essential to read the safety card in your seat pocket. This card provides vital information specific to your aircraft, including how to brace for impact. It's a good idea to review this information every time you fly, even if you're a frequent flyer. Remember, your seat choice and knowledge of safety procedures could be life-saving. So the next time you're on a flight, make the conscious decision to choose your seat wisely and pay attention to the safety briefing. It's better to be prepared for a situation that may never happen than to be unprepared for one that does. If the unimaginable happens and your plane is going down, there are ways to brace for impact. During these critical moments, your body positioning can make a substantial difference to your survival chances. Think of it this way: your body is an intricate structure of bones, muscles, and organs, all designed to protect one another. But during a high-impact crash, this delicate balance can be disrupted. That's where bracing comes in. Bracing is all about placing your body in a position that can best absorb the shock of a crash. For instance, if you're seated, lean forward and place your head on or against the seat in front of you, if possible. This can help prevent whiplash and protect your head from flying debris. Cross your arms over the back of the seat in front of you, gripping the opposite shoulders. This position helps to distribute the forces of impact across your body, reducing the risk of severe injury to any single area. Moving on to safety equipment, let's start with your seatbelt. It's not just about wearing it, but wearing it right. Your seatbelt should be fastened low and tight across your lap. This positioning helps to safeguard your lower spine and vital organs in the abdomen area. Next up, the oxygen mask. In case of a sudden drop in cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will drop from above your seat. It's crucial to put your mask on first before helping others. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Cover your nose and mouth with the mask and breathe normally. Remember, every second counts in a crash scenario. The more efficiently you can position your body and utilize safety equipment, the better your chances of weathering the impact. In a crash scenario, how you brace and use safety equipment can significantly affect your survival chances. So, always pay attention to safety instructions and be prepared to act swiftly and decisively. Your life may depend on it. Once the plane has crashed, your immediate actions can dictate your fate. This is the moment where every second counts, where your instincts must merge with the knowledge you've gathered to help you survive. It's a chaotic, disorienting scenario, but remember, you've prepared for this. First, you need to assess the situation around you. This is not the time for panic, but for swift, calculated decisions. Is it safe to unbuckle your seatbelt and move? Are there any immediate dangers like fire or smoke? If it's safe, your next step is to look for exits. Remember, the nearest exit may be behind you. You've made it out of the plane. Now what? You find yourself in unfamiliar terrain, perhaps a dense forest, a snowy mountain, or a deserted island. Your next priority is to create a temporary shelter. Use whatever you can find around you: branches, leaves, wreckage from the plane. Your shelter should protect you from the elements and, if possible, be visible from the air to aid rescue teams. Speaking of rescue teams, it's time to signal for help. 3 of anything in the wilderness is universally recognized as a distress signal. This could be 3 fires, 3 piles of rocks, or 3 blasts on a whistle. If you can, try to create a signal that can be seen or heard from a distance. Food, water, fire, and shelter are essential, but without rescue, they're just buying time. So, whether it's a smoke signal during the day or a fire at night, make sure you're doing everything you can to catch the attention of passing planes or search parties. As you wait for rescue, remember to conserve your energy. Survival is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay patient, stay hopeful, and trust in your preparations. Your actions post-impact can greatly improve your chances of being rescued. And until that moment of rescue comes, remember, you are stronger than you think, more resilient than you believe, and equipped to survive. A well-stocked survival kit can be the difference between life and death. This phrase rings true more than ever in extreme situations like a plane crash. While we hope you'll never need to use one, it's vital to know what essentials should be in your survival kit. Firstly, water is an absolute necessity. The human body can survive only 3 days without it. Always ensure you have a way to purify water, such as purification tablets or a life straw. These small, lightweight tools can turn potentially dangerous water sources into safe, drinkable water. Secondly, food is also crucial. While humans can survive for several weeks without food, having non-perishable food items can help maintain energy levels and morale. Items such as energy bars, canned goods, or freeze-dried meals can provide much-needed nourishment. Next, a good first aid kit is a must-have. This should include bandages, antiseptic wipes, tweezers, medical tape, and pain relief medication. Knowing basic first aid can also drastically improve your chances of survival. In addition to these essentials, consider adding a multi-tool, a fire starter, a blanket, a compass, and a flashlight to your survival kit. These tools can come in handy in a variety of situations, from building a shelter to signaling for help. Remember though that a survival kit is as much about the items it contains as it is about the mindset of the person using it. Staying calm, conserving energy, and thinking clearly can be just as important as any item in your kit. Fear and panic can lead to poor decisions, so it's essential to keep a clear head and maintain a positive attitude. In conclusion, a well-stocked survival kit can be a lifesaver in a plane crash scenario. It should contain items to take care of your basic needs, but also tools to help you navigate, signal for help, and stay warm. Remember, a good survival kit is not just about the items it contains, but also about the mindset of the person using it. A survival mindset, combined with a well-stocked kit, can drastically increase your chances of survival in any extreme situation. In the aftermath of a plane crash, communication is key. It is the lifeline that connects you to the outside world, the beacon that guides rescuers to your location. But how can one communicate in such a dire situation? First, let's talk about emergency communication devices. If you're fortunate enough to have a personal locator beacon, or PLB, activate it immediately. These devices transmit a distress signal to satellites, which relay your location to search and rescue services. But what if you don't have a PLB? Well, you can use your phone. Even if you're out of range for a phone call, text messages can sometimes get through. Remember to conserve your battery by switching to airplane mode when you're not using it. Now what if your electronic devices are unusable or you don't have them? This is where signaling comes into play. You can use a mirror or any reflective surface to catch the sun's rays and flash a signal to passing aircraft. Remember, 3 flashes in quick succession is universally recognized as a distress signal. If you're in a snowy environment, you can stomp out giant letters in the snow, such as SOS, or create contrasting shapes with any available material. In a forest, you can create smoke signals by adding green foliage to a fire. And let's not forget about orientation. Knowing your cardinal directions can help you navigate towards populated areas. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and at noon, it is due south in the northern hemisphere, and due north in the southern hemisphere. However, moving should be your last resort. It's generally safer to stay put, make yourself visible, and wait for rescue. Remember, in a survival situation, your ingenuity is your best tool. Use whatever you have at your disposal to communicate your location and situation. Effective communication can greatly increase your chances of being rescued. Surviving a plane crash may seem impossible, but with the right knowledge and preparation, your chances of survival greatly increase. In the face of such extreme situations, the importance of prior knowledge cannot be overstated. It arms you with the tools to make the best possible decisions when seconds count. It's not just about what you know, but how you apply that knowledge. This is why practicing safety procedures before each flight is crucial. It's one thing to understand the theory, but in the heat of the moment your actions need to be instinctive, automatic. In the vast tapestry of life's experiences, plane crashes are but a minuscule thread. They are rare, but they do happen. And when they do, your preparation, your knowledge, and your practiced responses can make the crucial difference. Remember, while plane crashes are rare, they do happen, and your preparation could be the difference between life and death.